Okay, so we're on this small bathroom here. I think it's probably about 7.5, maybe 8 foot across from left to right, and it's about 6 foot deep. So it's not a huge bathroom, but it's a very old one. This bathroom, this house was built in I think 1964 or something like that. Very dated, you know, you can tell just by the wood and the studs and all that stuff. Very old. In fact, they even had the old iron pipe, never made the transition to copper, so that's kind of a pain. Iron pipe here, cast iron on the drain. So anyway, the renovation on this will be a full shower left to right. This was a shower stall. Actually, the stall went up to about right here on the edge of the tree and took up this distance here. It's about just shy of a 3x4 shower. There was a closet here. You could tell where the boards were of this little closet, and then it kind of ended right here, and then it was boxed in, and the box was just to hide the pipe here. So what I've done is I've taken out the closet because don't really need that. There's a closet around the corner, almost a walk-in closet for towels and stuff like that. And it's always better to get a bigger shower. So we're going to build a bigger shower. We're going to get about 2 feet extra on length. On the width, we're going to come up, as I always do, to the jamb here. So from where it was before on this side, we're going to gain about maybe 8-9 inches of depth on the shower. So it'll be from the jamb all the way to there. The curb will take up this little 5-inch space down here at the bottom. And then of course it'll be 2 feet, almost 2 feet anyway, longer. So it'll be a nice shower. The tile is going to go all the way up to the ceiling, and that precludes having to put a lot of trim in. In fact, the only trim pieces will be there because I'm going to go up to the window with the tile. There's going to be tile on the walls also at this 3-foot level. Actually, it'll go 4 foot up here. And then there'll be a trim piece on top of that tile. That'll be a 16 by 16 or 18 by 18. That will actually match the floor tile as well. So anyway, there will be no trim pieces here because the tile will be kind of contiguous running up there. There'll be a trim piece there, trim piece up top there. I'm going to put a niche on this back wall here, so there'll be, as I always do, trim out my niches, so there'll be some of those, and then of course the trim on the top of the tile going across this wall back here. There'll be a small vanity to go back in here. I would have liked to do a pedestal sink, but they didn't really want to move these pipes around to make it happen, which would be a real pain anyway. And I guess they're going to go with a new toilet, although I prefer the old ones because they're big 2.5 gallon tanks as opposed to the ones now that are 1.5. Is it 1.5? 1.2? Anyway. So what I'm doing at this point, there's a stack, as you saw already, and all the stack is just a vent that vents out to the ceiling or to the roof, your gases and stuff like that. And so in order to build the shower, we're going to move that stack, cut that off over there, and move it back and into this wall, excuse me, into this wall, and then 45 it back, and it'll still go back in the same direction, but it'll just be out of the way. We're going to transition this down at the bottom here, this iron pipe to copper, and put in a new valve, put that whole thing back into this wall, and then we'll get started on pouring the pan and all that stuff. So, it was a shower stall, so the drain was not centered, so we're going to have to move the shower drain to the center, which is probably going to be around there. So they're going to end up with a really nice shower. It's going to be travertine and everything. It's going to be mostly tile in this room. I think the only wall space is going to be up to here and up to here, and then at the top there, but there'll be hardly any wall space. Oh, they're going with a new window too, so I'm going to cut out that window, put a new window in. Anyway, like I said, it's going to be really nice compared to what it was when it's done, and they're going to be really happy with this larger shower for sure. So I'm going to get started on the plumbing end of it, and I'll be back. Okay, so last time I took a video, I meant to actually take one about midway, and we're probably about 3/4 of the way down. So a lot's been done over here. Obviously the Durock has been put down on the floor. Toilet flange has been changed. New sheetrock has been put on the wall over here. And a new window has been put in. This window is actually larger than the original one that was there, and had to cut off maybe about 4 inches off the side there to make it fit, and about another inch off the top. So it's a little larger window, but it's nice. It's double pane, and it's updated from the 1960 whatever era the old window was. In the shower, a lot has happened in the last 4 or 5 days. If you recall, on this side there was a closet over here, and there was a vent stack over here, an iron pipe, cast iron pipe, a 2-inch one, as well as where the original shower was, the fiberglass shower. There was iron pipes that go up. So what I did is I cut out the floor, and I made the transition from the iron pipe supply lines to copper, and ran those into the wall, and then back up again and sweated in a new valve. The iron stack that used to be here, wow, that thing really gave me problems. That thing went straight up to the roof there, and it was eating up all my blades. Should have got a chain pipe cutter. Would have been snapped in no time, but I don't have one. So anyway, I finally got it cut out at the bottom and about halfway at the top, but then I had to pull the whole thing out of the ceiling and the roof and pull it out and get rid of it. And so then I made the transition to PVC, 2-inch PVC, and ran it the length that it was over here and up this back wall over here, and then back over, and then back out the roof again. And then of course, seal the roof area so it wouldn't leak through. But once I got all that back, then I was able to put the flooring back, the 3/4 flooring. Obviously poured the pan, put the liner in, poured the pan, new drain. As I always do with drains, I always go past the P-trap and cut it off, and then install a new drain. Centered that for the shower. What else? Of course, built the curb, put all the wallboard up. There was my niche that I always build. And then of course, I sealed it with Red Guard. In this case, I had some extra Red Guard and some of the stuff that Lowe's sells, so I used both of them on here. So basically, we are ready to tile the way that, of course the ceiling got done too, because there was no ceiling there, and put in the can light, which I always like to do. Oh yeah, this is new. So that's for that ceiling light. This one, we put a fan in, which none existed, and we put an outlet in, which the only outlet they had before was this one, which is kind of funky. But what I found out was the reason that that's there is because it's supplying power. With the old iron pipe they wrapped, there's a heating element that's about that wide, and they wrapped both of the pipes and everything down below here, because there's a false ceiling down below here that shoots out outside here, and I guess they thought that the freezing would be an issue on that iron pipe. So that's the only reason they had that outlet there, and there was no way to rewire that, bring it back over here, so we did that in the wall. Fortunately, all the wiring for those lights was hidden in the wall, and I was able to bring that wire back up and over and gave them an outlet. And then of course, the old light switch there. So anyway, that's that. The tiling thing is going to be the 4x4 on the floor. It's a tumbled marble. So that will go on the floor. Of course, I'll do my niche as well as I always do with the diagonal tile there. Same 12-inch that's going to go on the wall. That will be diagonal. I'm going to cut out one of these pieces, or I'm going to cut out on that tile one of the pieces on the floor, and decided to do a little shell. I had cut a shell, a conch shell, and I'm going to put a little bit of that sliver of that shell inside of that 4-inch tile. Then the rest of it will be framed around with the trim that I'm going to use ultimately. And then I can get started on the 12x12 travertine that's going to go up the wall to the ceiling. On this side over here, she was going to put beadboard or something like that, and what I'm going to end up doing instead is using 16x16 travertine, going up 2, which will give me 32 inches, and then another 12, which I'm using on the wall over there, to go up, take up the difference. And then I've got a 2-inch trim, same stuff I'm going to use on the niche. 2-inch trim is going to get right to the bottom of that outlet plate, which will be a perfect size for that, and that's going to go all the way around up to this wall here with the trim at that line, and it'll stop there, but I'm going to tile in the bottom of this window, and there'll be one more piece of trim over here, but I'm not going to do the trim. The transition from the 16 and the 12 tile is going to just run into this 12 tile that's here. So the only trim that I'm going to have to use will be from here on up. So that's about 4.5 feet or so. And there'll be one piece of trim up there. So it'll look very nice, and a vast difference from what it was before. Like I said, the period of the house is about early to mid 60s. So very, very modernized, and we'll give you a little view of it when it's finished. So I'm going to get started tiling.
I think you run a video, so let's step back to it.
This is 16, they're going up the wall to a 12, and then we capped off the window there. Put these trim pieces on the top going across, put the vanity back in, and the toilet, 12x12 on the floor, and you can see the curb is built, and the 12x12 going up the wall. Shower fixture is in, the head is in, and a piece of trim up there. That's the niche. I'm going to get back to that. Trim went around this corner by the window as well as that corner, and then went up this side there, and a decorative piece in the center, which is always kind of nice, and it matches the shower head. Cool, huh? We already tested the shower. Of course it works, and all I have left to do is seal all this now. Wipe it down, all the haze and stuff, and then get it sealed, and it'll be great. So, getting back to the niche, these are what I'm famous for, because I always do the diagonal tile in the center, and then I frame it out with the same trim that we use over here. I would take at least one of these tiles from the floor and put up here. But I had a friend in Jamaica who is starting to use conch shells. He cuts them with his tile saw into pieces, and he does them at hotels and stuff. So I decided to do a little experiment with one of those with this customer, and she liked it, so that's what it looks like. I think it's about maybe a 1/4 of an inch thickness that goes in there, so same as the tile is. So it's just a little extra added thing. Lights in, all that stuff. So anyway, this one's done, and on to the next one.